So if you want anyone to take your work seriously, you need to take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
And that means presenting yourself in a clear way, in a way that a business would, especially if you want to go freelance. You are a business. Give context to your projects. Don't just say that you did something, say what your role was, maybe who you worked with, obviously who you worked for. From our experience with working with the managers, these are the talent directors at these major agencies and brands, they tell us that they largely spend a few minutes even on each portfolio they see, which means that making the first impression is hugely important.
Yeah, and you don't have to go and reinvent the wheel. You don't have to program your site from scratch. Use Simply's, use Squarespace. They have amazing templates that you don't really need to know even coding to learn and build, and you just put your work up there. And yeah, managers don't typically, when they're looking at so many portfolios all day long to hire people, they don't spend a lot of time on each one. And so that's why it's really important that your main page of your site really gets across what you do. Show stuff that people can actually see and don't have to like squint and figure it out. It's just more impressive when something is big and shot nicely. That care you put into that presentation goes a long way and for the people looking at it. If you're creating any sort of visual work or any sort of products, document them. So set them up, get a good camera, and actually iPhones now and most phones now actually are pretty good cameras. So set it up with some lights on it and shoot it, and then present it as large as you can on your portfolio site, and showing behind the scenes photos and the process and how it was made and how it was done. Like all of that stuff adds context that helps tell the story of why you did it and how you did it.
Yeah, and another cool thing about what a portfolio, the opportunity that it gives you is it gives you context to your work. So you're not just saying, here's what I did, hope you like it. It's here's the process behind it, or here was my role in it. So even if they're spending a few seconds on it, it's like you can make the impression that you want to make. Yeah,
I think it's important to position your portfolio as the work you want to do. Like a lot of people feel the need to show everything that they've ever done. So whether it was, a big project all the way down to like a flyer for their local barbecue. And it's like, you don't need to show everything you've ever done. You don't need to prove all of it. One of the most important things when making a portfolio is editing. Only showing your best work, showing the work that you want to represent yourself with and the type of work you want to do. A teacher once told me, you're only as good as your worst piece of work in your portfolio. So make sure you're only showing your best work, showing the stuff that you're proud of, and you don't have to show everything you've ever done. So it's better to have 10 great pieces in your portfolio than 15 or 20, and the other ones are kind of just bringing up the rear.
Well, plus if people are spending 5 seconds in your portfolio, what do you want them to see?
Yeah, because and that's the thing. If someone goes and clicks on one random project, you better make sure that one represents you just as well as the first one. And I think sometimes when I've gone to portfolios, I'll go and click on something in the middle, just to test that theory and be like, all right, I know you're leading with this one, but I want to see what you got going on down here. So yeah, it's really important to edit. Make sure you have contact info on there. So many people surprisingly forget to put that. If you are out there and on the internet and you want to get hired, make sure there's a way for people to contact you.
Definitely. Also, typos. I don't mean to get so basic about it, but that's, it's surprising, not surprising. A lot of people seem like they're not copy editing. Ask a friend to do it. Ask somebody else. Yeah, you're too close to yourself. Yeah.
It always throws people off, and it makes it seem like you don't have attention to detail. My dad gave me a great piece of advice, and he said, how you do anything is how you do everything. So when I see a portfolio and someone doesn't pay attention to the typos, if they're not paying attention to those details on their own portfolio site, are they going to pay attention to other details when we hire them? Yeah. A lot of times people will just put text links and not show the actual work, and you have to go and click on every single link to be able to see it. Don't do that. Show the work front and center, big thumbnails. If I go and get to a portfolio and it says loading and there's a bar, I just close it and go to the next one. So it's really important that your site opens up to your homepage right away. Don't even bother with a splash page. Just have it go straight to your main page. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to go through some examples of portfolio sites we think do a really good job of representing who these people are and the type of work they want to do. So the first is Jen Musari, who is a Working Not Working member. She's a letterer and designer, and she's a total badass. You get to her site here, you obviously see the type of work that she does. She has really huge screen grabs and thumbnails of the work she does. So lettering on motorcycles, you can see that without even having to click into the project. And then when you scroll through, you just really get a sense of who she is and the type of work she does. So all hand done lettering, all a lot of it beautiful. A lot of it, others like aggressive, but all of it has a real sense of a point of view and style. Also, we have Loda Nieminen, and she's an amazing illustrator and designer, and she does a really great job on her site. One, it's beautifully designed, and still has big images, but in a different way than Jen's. Hers is all images. Loda has the titles of her projects and a little brief description. So she has paint box, branding for a New York-based manicure studio. So you get a sense of what she had to do with this project just by looking at the thumbnails, and then you can click in to see them more.
She also picked, again, going back to making sure that the way you display your work reflects the work that you're doing. She picked a style of presentation that looks like her work. It's clean, it's simple, refined, modern, elegant.
Yeah, really consistent color palette. Like everything when you're scrolling through here, all feels like it goes together, which is great, and it's just really aesthetically pleasing. And then you're like, all right, this is all of her design stuff. Let me check out her illustration. And you click on that, and it's a really cool site. It shows you all that, and then you can click through, and like her illustration, still feels of her brand, but then it's it's all very different from her design work, which was more branding based. And this is all really fun, cool illustrations of people and environments. People are expecting you to be able to communicate an idea, a thought, a brand, any of that. So to be able to clearly communicate that in your website is really important.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest videos.